So welcome. So in this session of webinar today, we're going to talk about the testing guide for the CET 12.0 minor release. Yeah, so my name is Herng. I am a senior QA analyst in the KL, located in KL office. So tonight with me here is my colleague, Bryan. So both of us will be presenting to you the content for the webinar tonight. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask, you can note it down or leave it in the chat area, or you can ask us in the end of this webinar session. We will have a Q&A session at the end of it. Yep, okay. So before I start going through with the changes in this minor release, so I just want to ask you to take note that before starting the testing, please do check with your developers to make sure that all these changes are already available in your extensions or in your beta. Yep, as there will be no migration needed for this release. So yeah, just make sure that everything that we are going to discuss today is in before you start the testing. All right, so now let's begin. So in the 12.0 minor release, we have identified several bugs that we think it is useful for our partner QAs to test using their manufacturer extensions to ensure the stability when using CET. So the first bug that I would like to present here or discuss here is that this is a crash when deleting part text when you are working with MULTIFLOOR. So this crash can be reproduced by deleting existing or new part text that are in use by different levels in the MULTIFLOOR. So as you can see here in this screenshot on the left corner, so this is a MULTIFLOOR with a few snappers placed on each of the levels, and then it is tagged with the part tagging, and then how to verify that this is also not affecting your extension is that we would want to recommend by using your extension, create a MULTIFLOOR with different snappers using new or default or customized tags, or especially if you have manufacturer specific part tagging. So tag them in different levels. And then in the part tagging dialog, so delete the tags that are or are not in use and ensure that CET does not crash when you are doing so. Yep, this would be the first one. And next, I would move first to new features that are going to be available in CET 12.0 minor release. So in this minor release, there are several new features introduced into the catalog creator to manipulate the visibility of features and costs that are going to be shown in the bill of material. So this catalog features doesn't pose any direct impact in the common CET workflow. So this part of the information is just for sharing purposes. So in CET 12.0 minor, catalog users right now have the options to control how part number and cost are defined by manipulating the generations of product codes. So these features that are able to do so are the OMIT product code and disable functional lookup. So first, I will want to talk about how the OMIT product code work. So I'm showing here a screenshot. One part of it is the product card section in the catalog creator, and the another part is the bill of material, which also known as the calculation. if you have worked with Catalog Creator before, you might be familiar with this. So before you have anything applied to the Catalog Creator, so this would be shown in your calculation. So in this Catalog Creator, I have a pot, which is the parent product. And then I have also a selection of height, which is 10 centimeters, and another one, which is 20 centimeters. This is the child product. And then also I have specified here the individual height of 10 centimeters and 20 centimeters as the individual product. So each of it has its own price. So before applying anything, if you have put in the pot with the height of 10 centimeters selected, it would refer to the Catalog Creator, what is set here as, and taken the code and the price from here. So as you can see in the calculation, it has this pot underscore height underscore 10. This is what you have selected, and the price is $200, which is what it's referred to in the Catalog Creator. And then you might also be noticed that there is a column here, which is the OMIT product code. So this is what this feature is about. So when you have this checked, it will exclude the product's code in the final part number shown in the BOM. So when you have this check in the parent product, so in your calculation, it would remove or omit the parent product code, which is in this case pot, and it will only grab this individual height product in the calculation. Yeah, so you must have this specified first, and then yeah, it will grab this code and display it in calculation, and then also the price. So it now becomes $10 as it is set here. Yep. So the part number on and the price of the selected option, in this case, the individual height product is shown in the calculation after this is applied. All right. So the next one would be the disable functional lookup. So as you might have been noticed, there is another column, which is this disable functional lookup. So this before, which is before you have anything applied, it is shown as it is without any additional features applied to it. So this disable functional lookup, when you check it, it doesn't look up to the price set to the child product. So in this case, this might be a little bit confusing, but in this case, when you have the option selected as the 10 centimeter height, in calculation, it will still display as it is. But what will happen is it doesn't change the price. The price would only the price will still maintain as what is shown as in the parent product. Yeah, so the part number would refer to the child product, but the price would still remain as what is set for the parent product in calculation. Yeah. All right. So the next feature is also related to Catalog Creator. So this is the property visibility. So catalog specialists can now control the properties that can be shown in property box using the properties visibility feature in Catalog Creator. So using this new feature, properties of a main or parent product and the additional, or we call it the child product, can be controlled to either to be shown or stay hidden depending on the product role. So in this screenshot here, I have 3 different types of screenshot. The first one is before you have this feature applied. So you have you can display, it will display everything, including the options for the parent product and the additional product. And with this property visibility, you can control to only show additional products option, like the one in the screenshot in the middle, or you can hide the additional products option and only choose to show products for the main or the parent product. Okay. So the next one is the main product column. This is a new addition to the bill of material. So by using this column, user will be able to identify which parent product and additional product belongs to when using catalog snapper. So in the screenshot below table is the main or parent product, and by referring to this main product column, you can tell that the leg and accessories are the child product for the table. Yep, so user will be able to identify which parent product and additional products belongs to. Yeah, if you turn this column on in your bill of material. Okay, so this ends my part of the presentation. So I would now pass this to my colleague, Bryan. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Yuen. Let me start sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm Bryan, QA analyst in Configura in the KL office, and I'll be starting with the second half of the presentation. Okay, so moving on, this is one important bug fix that'll be in the CET minor release. Now, developers made a crash fix when switching to paperspace. So no matter where you are, when you switch to paperspace, it can crash. Now, to ensure this fix actually works in the minor release, we recommend test instructions of this one and this one. Now, to the first test instruction, by using model space. Now, model space, you can use it in either 2D, 3D space, or split view, which means you have the 2D on top and the 3D at the bottom. Or you can also create a new view by clicking on the key V, which then creates a new view for you. But that new view will only have 2D or 3D, and it will not grant you any split view, right? So by using either this or this, you switch to paperspace and make sure that you repeat the switch back and forth. It shouldn't crash CET. Now, another smoke test instruction is that if your extension has auto papers, now you might ask what is auto papers? Now, this is an example of auto papers from the FICA manufacturer. Okay, it pretty much means customized papers for the manufacturer extensions that is generated automatically. Now, try generating and make sure that the output is expected and no unintended changes should happen. Okay, so that's it for bug fixes, and I'm going to be going through the new features. Now, moving on to the first new feature, we are introducing PBR materials. Okay, so it stands for physical-based rendering materials, and it is a concept of using realistic shading, lighting models to accurately represent real-world materials. Now, with this, materials will look awesome and will look more accurate. Now, these are just some examples that I've taken off the internet. All right, it can look as realistic as this. So we're putting PBR materials into CET. Now, it's going to be a silent release in the August minor release. So the end users will not get this feature directly, but instead they need to enable it through the release debug dialog, which I'll show later on. Now, the code base will be, you will get the code base in the latest minor release. So by ensuring that everything still works fine and CET works top notch for you, we recommend these test instructions. Okay, so by changing to different materials using your manufactured products in the quick properties, or if you have a scheme manager, please do it. And make sure they look correct as before in terms of the materials and verify in 2D or 3D space. Now, all you have to do is to make sure all of your colors, your materials, they still look as accurate as before. Then you can also perform a rendering and ensure the materials still look as accurate. Another thing that you can do is save, load new existing drawings, make sure there are no intended visual changes. And you can also try creating own customer materials, which is COM. And I'm going to be moving on to a short demo and going to be showing you how PBR material works. Let me just fire up CET. Okay, here I have it open right here. Just going to be starting with the first, the first note. All right, so this is debug dialog. This is how you activate it by clicking on Control, Alternate, Shift, and F12. Right, you click all these buttons simultaneously, you get this release debug dialog. Now you go into Settings tab. This is where you can enable PBR materials. That's why it is called a silent release, and the end users will not get to see this feature immediately. Okay, so one thing you can do is there'll be changes in the material lab. Let me just go to material lab. All right, this is Material Explorer. Go to Material Lab. Okay, so this is Material Lab. Now there is one button here which you can click on, which is to convert to PBR. And once you have clicked on that, it turns into PBR mode. And you have these new channels which you can feed material files into just to improve the correctness of the material so it looks more realistic. Now, metallic, roughness, and occlusion, there are new channels as opposed to the normal material lab modes. And I'm going to be using a sample PBR material just to show you how it looks like. Okay, here I have my internet browser that's open. So you can basically find free PBR materials anywhere. There are free ones and there are also paid ones. I just happen to find that this is the website that I'll be using, right? I just happen to be here. And these are just some of the free PBR materials that you can download it off the internet and you load it into CET. Now, these are some of the materials, and I've decided I'm going to be using this one, Dusty Cobble PBR material. Okay, so it looks something like this, and what you have to do, you're going to be downloading this file off the internet. I already have it downloaded, so let me just load it into CET. Okay, so I already have all of these files in a folder like this. So what you're gonna have to do is to drag one of these materials into one of these channels. I have a metallic material, which is one of the PBR materials that should be fed into CET to form a PBR material model. I'm just gonna be dragging this metallic into the correct channel like this. And it's gonna prompt me because it detects there are also other materials that's relevant to these channels. So it automatically maps all of the materials that I have in that folder into CET Material Lab. And I click on yes, it's going to be loading everything into the Material Lab. Now here I have all of these materials mapped into CET. Now this is where you can configure a material. You want different intensity of bump, for example. So these look a little bit more obvious if you have it. You can adjust the slider. And there are also some different channels which you can tweak. Okay, so this is PBR material. It looks better than the normal materials that we have in CET. Now the partners will have to migrate and convert their materials into PBR, but it's not a compulsory process because if you don't migrate to PBR, CET will still support the old one. Now this is how it looks like in a cube. And this is how it looks like in a sphere. Okay, I also have a sample drawing that I can load into CET just to show you the differences of the drawing with and without PBR treatment. I'm just going to be loading this drawing in. Okay, I have it here. Okay, right now it is loaded into this alternative, which does not have PBR treatment. So it is still using the old material. Now, when I switch to PBR, you're going to see the difference. I'm going to do the switch again. And again. Now notice how the textures on the wall and on the floor, it looks a bit more realistic, right? So this is how it looks in real time. I also have some sample rendered photos. Okay, I'm just gonna switch it back to non-PBR. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so I have two photos. This one, it is in product lighting mode. This one, it is in realistic mode. Okay, it is in realistic mode. Okay, so this is without PBR, all right? And I'm gonna be switching this to PBR. Let me just flick this around. My photo lab. Okay, let's look at this one first. PBR. Okay, I'm gonna make the switch again. Non-PBR and PBR. Notice how the textures on the wall and the floor, it looks better, right? No non-PBR and PBR. Now this is what it looks like in realistic lighting. No PBR and PBR. Okay, so this is about PBR materials, and I'm just going to be moving on back to the slides. So remember the test, follow these test instructions and make sure the material still works for you. Okay, so the next new feature that we have is about catalogs. Now, one feature that we have right here is sync group codes. Now, this only works for additional products, right? So for example, I have this additional product right here. Now, this is the main product. Just see it as a work from home set, right? I have a monitor right here and also have two additional products that I've added into this main product. Now, the first additional product on my left is a laptop, and another additional product that I've added is a smaller monitor. Now, these are actually grouped as one snapper right now, but they also share some common feature options. For example, if you look at this quick property right here, I can switch wallpaper on my main product, and I can also switch wallpaper on my monitor and also on the laptop as well. Now, what this feature allows you to do is you can group them together as one. And just by flicking this feature option to the other wallpapers, all of them will be switched together. All right, so it saves you from many clicks away. It's just one click and it affects all of them. And that's about it. Are there any questions? That's the end of the 12.0 QA minor release testing webinar. Questions from anyone? Now I'm just going to show this one. So this one is our newly published CET 12.0 minor release testing guide. You can find more information here. All right, that's all I want to show. Now these are some links to the other guides that can be useful. QA testing tools manual, smoke test guide. Here you can access to the different testing tool manuals, batch load, PDF diff, order export. And this is the smoke test guidelines. Okay, Herng, I think that's the end.
Yep. Okay, all right. So thank you everyone for joining this session. Yeah, do refer to the QA community briefcase for the recordings and also for this slides that we'll be posting tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, after we have compiled everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yep. Thank you, and stay tuned to our next session of the webinar. Yeah, we'll be posting in the Academy page, so do check out occasionally, at the page.
And don't forget to send us questions related to testing at QA support@configura.com. We'll be more than happy to help you out.